Hi, welcome to engVid. If you look very carefully, this snowblower is the devil's number, 666. Joke. I say that because in Canada, even though it's cold, it's hell here. It's freezing. Anyway, welcome to engVid. And today's lesson. For those of you who've been following for a while, there's a method called the seam method. The method in which I take a lot of the common modals and put them together in a way that you can actually understand them. Not understand is one way, remember is almost more important. You can remember them and understand how to use them. Today we're going to do the S. In the previous lessons we did express, pan, ask for a pass, and today's seam like pop, see pop. And you're going to say, what is pop? What does it have to do with modals? That's what the next 10 minutes is for, son. Let's go. All right, so pop. Okay, so we go C, S. Well, the S really stands for state. State means to say. When you state something, you say it. In this case, we're going to state or say our preferences or our opinions. P for preference, op for pop. I got to thank Mr. E on this one. High five, Mr. Boom! Gave me the idea before, like, why, blah, blah, blah. I was like, I don't know. And he said, try pop. So I did. Pop. Remember, state, pop. Preference and opinion. What do we mean by this? Well, let's do preference. Because I like things and you like things. And sometimes you want other people to know, well, a lot of times you want other people to know what you like. Now, here's what we use to do that with modals. We actually use the modal would. Okay? Why do we use the modal would? I'll tell you why. Because we use it as a conditional in English, meaning, well, like other modals, it's not 100% guaranteed. But in this case, we're saying, under these conditions, I like something, or I like something better than something else. It expresses the imaginary, what I would like it to be, because it's not that way now, but I would like it this way, or I can imagine having this. So by using would, we get the power of saying what I could imagine liking or having, what I would prefer, and then the conditions I would like it. And how do we use it? Well, there are three words that usually go when I say I prefer something. It's easy. You could say I prefer, I rather, I like. But when we use modals, we put on that potential, right? We talk about possibility. I would prefer, because you're saying, I would like it to be this way. It's not this way right now. So we should look at prefer and rather. Prefer is choice. This is what I would like more. Okay? So rather means basically the same thing. And we have like. Like is I do like it. Now when we use like, we usually use it with the verb in the base. I would like to, before I forget, to. We use this and we use a verb in the base, or another word is an infinitive. That's when there's nothing added on, no S, no ing or ed. Okay? So I would like to go to the store right now. That's what I would prefer, my preference in doing. Right? I would like to do other things, but I'd really like to do this. When we use prefer, it's a little different. I would prefer something, we use the gerund form. I would prefer shopping. I'd prefer to go shopping. Right? So use a gerund that follows this one. I would prefer running to sitting around here. I would prefer watching TV than cleaning the house. So we use the gerund form with the prefer. And would rather, we just use a verb in the base. So you don't really need to say, I rather to. In fact, you can't say to. So I would rather sleep than talk to you for another 5 minutes. I would prefer to do this. Okay? So we've got the three different types that usually goes with would, that shows our preference, and how we would make them conjugate. So this one is to plus verb in the base. This one was generally followed with a gerund. And this one, nothing, just the verb in the base. Cool? That's your preference option. Now let's pop over here. Let's talk about opinion. What is your opinion on something? I would prefer the blue dress to the red dress. Well, in this case, I'm using it as prefer. But what happens if I said, slow down for you here. What happens if I said to you, I wouldn't believe anything that man says? Is this true? Well, remember, would talks about conditional and imaginary. I'm not saying it's a fact. I'm saying it's probably true. So it's not 100% like can, right? Or will. So we're looking here and we're saying, I believe. I wouldn't believe. Percentage, maybe 20% believe him. Mostly not. because we want to talk about that conditional and that imaginary. I think what he says is a lie. That's my opinion. And the reason why it's opinion is because it's not actually a fact I can prove to you. Okay? Next, I would shoot him if he did that to my wife. That's my opinion, but also it's imaginary because I'm actually not doing it. When we talk about opinions, we're not saying it's reality. We're saying that's how we think or we would imagine reality to be, and the conditions reality would have to be. Cool? So, we've done seem, and you've learned something else about stating pop. What's pop? Stating your preference or your opinion. And how do we do it? Well, if we use would with the words like, prefer, or rather, which show things you like more, we just have to look at how we use it. Verb plus to plus verb in the base. For prefer, verb plus ing or a gerund form. And for rather, just verb in the base usually follows. Not bad, huh? And for our opinion, we can say would or wouldn't with the verb in the base, and state directly, I would, she would, ... and usually goes with words like believe or think, because those are your opinions. I had a complicated sentence before, which was, I would think that he wouldn't do something like that. You'll see the word would is used twice, right? But once again, expressing our opinion and disbelief about a situation that happened. Long story short, we can use would for our opinions and use would for our preferences. If you want to see the other three parts of the seem method, please go back to, where would you go? See, where would you go? Well, I would like you to go to preference, engVid, which is www.ing, as in English, vid, as in video.com. I believe you would find it very entertaining and you would learn a lot from it. And as I said to you, I'd rather you go there than anywhere else. What else are you going to do? Watch soccer? Have a good day. engVid.